This is how to survive a heart attack when you are alone. It can happen in a heartbeat. One moment, you're going about your day, and the next, there's a strange pressure building in your chest. In the United States, someone has a heart attack every 40 seconds, and every year, about 800,000 people have one. It's a heavy, squeezing feeling, almost like a weight pressing down on you. Maybe your arm starts to ache, or you suddenly feel winded, like you can't get enough air. A cold sweat breaks out. The room feels a little fuzzy, and a terrifying thought hits you. You're all alone. Panic is a totally natural response. But what you do in these next few minutes while you're waiting for help can literally be the difference between life and death. You are not powerless. It's scary, but learning what to do is the best way to take back control. We're not here to scare you. We're here to prepare you. We're going to walk through the clear, life-saving steps you need to take if you think you're having a heart attack and no one else is around. This isn't about dwelling on fear. It's about giving yourself the best possible chance to survive. Number 1. What is a heart attack? So, what is actually happening inside your body during a heart attack? Think of your heart as an engine. Like any engine, it needs fuel, in this case, oxygen-rich blood. This fuel gets delivered through pipes called coronary arteries. A heart attack, or myocardial infarction, happens when one of those pipes gets blocked, usually by a blood clot that forms on a ruptured plaque. It's like a dam suddenly stopping the flow of blood. Without that blood and oxygen, a part of the heart muscle starts to suffocate and die. The longer that artery is blocked, the more damage is done. Those symptoms you feel, the chest pressure, the arm pain, the shortness of breath, are your body's alarm bells. They're screaming that your heart is in trouble. This is why time is so critical. As the American Heart Association emphasizes, every second counts. The goal of emergency treatment is to clear that blockage and get blood flowing again as fast as possible to save the heart muscle. The steps we're about to cover are all designed to get professional help on the way and take the strain off your heart while you wait. Number 2. Recognizing the warning signs. Your first job is to recognize that you might be having a heart attack. A lot of people waste precious time because they write off their symptoms as just indigestion or a pulled muscle. That can be a fatal mistake. Recognizing the signs is your first life-saving move. Let's start with the classic symptoms. According to the American Heart Association, the most common sign for both men and women is chest discomfort. This isn't always a sharp movie-style pain. It can feel like pressure, squeezing, tightness, or fullness in the center of your chest that lasts for more than a few minutes, or it might go away and come back. The discomfort can also spread to other areas, like your arms, one or both, your back, neck, jaw, or even your stomach. You might also get intensely short of breath, break out in a cold sweat, feel nauseous, or suddenly get dizzy. Now, it's vital to know that symptoms can look very different, especially in women. While chest pain is still the most common symptom for women, they are more likely than men to experience other signs, particularly shortness of breath, nausea, vomiting, and back or jaw pain. Women might also have symptoms that are easy to dismiss, like extreme or unusual fatigue, dizziness, or what feels like indigestion. The bottom line is this: trust your gut. The American Heart Association advises that even if you're not sure it's a heart attack, you should have it checked out. If something feels deeply wrong or alarming, even if it's not a dramatic chest-clutching scene, take it seriously. It's always better to call for help for a false alarm than to ignore a real emergency. Number 3. Your step-by-step survival plan. Okay, you've recognized the signs. Panic is knocking at the door. It's time to act. Here is your clear step-by-step plan. Step 1. Call emergency services immediately. This is non-negotiable, and it is always the first step. Before you do anything else, before calling a family member or looking things up online, call 911 or your local emergency number. The American Heart Association stresses that calling 911 is almost always the fastest way to get life-saving treatment. Don't wait to see if it goes away. The sooner you call, the sooner help can arrive, and every minute saved means less damage to your heart. Paramedics are not just a taxi service. They are trained professionals who can start life-saving treatment the second they get to you. They can give you crucial medications and use a defibrillator if your heart stops. When you call, say you think you're having a heart attack and give your address. If you can, use your phone's speaker so you can talk to the dispatcher while you do the next steps. After you call, unlock your front door. Then, go sit or lie down near the door where responders can easily find you. This saves them from wasting precious time breaking in. A dangerous impulse is to try to drive yourself to the hospital. Please, don't. An ambulance is a mobile emergency room. Your car is not. Always call for an ambulance. Step 2. Take aspirin, if appropriate. After you've called for help, if you have non-enteric-coated aspirin and you are not allergic to it or have been told by a doctor to avoid it, chew 1 regular strength, 325 milligrams, or 2 to 4 low dose, 81 milligrams, chewable aspirins. The key word is *chew*. Chewing gets the medicine into your bloodstream much faster. Aspirin is a blood thinner that can help prevent a blood clot from getting bigger, potentially reducing heart damage. But, and this is important, do not take aspirin if you're allergic, have a bleeding disorder, or if your doctor has specifically told you not to. The 911 dispatcher may be able to advise you on whether to take it, and it has to be aspirin, not other painkillers like ibuprofen or naproxen. Those don't work the same way and can actually be harmful in this situation. If you don't have aspirin or can't take it, just skip this step. Step 3. Stop everything and get still. Your heart is under major stress. Any physical activity forces it to work harder for oxygen it doesn't have. So stop what you're doing immediately. Sit or lie down. A semi-reclined position, sitting on the floor with your back against a wall and knees bent, is often best because it can make breathing easier. However, if you feel dizzy or like you might faint, lie down flat to avoid getting hurt in a fall. The goal is to rest as much as possible while you wait. Step 4. Take prescribed nitroglycerin, if you have it. This step is only for people with a known history of heart disease who have been prescribed nitroglycerin by their doctor. If that's you, take it exactly as you've been directed. Nitroglycerin helps relax and widen blood vessels, which improves blood flow and can ease chest pain. Do not take someone else's nitroglycerin or use it if it wasn't prescribed for you. It can cause a dangerous drop in blood pressure. Step 5. Stay calm and breathe. This might sound like the hardest part, but it's critical. Panic causes a rush of adrenaline, making your heart beat faster and increasing its need for oxygen, the very thing it's lacking. You have to consciously fight that panic. Focus on taking slow, deep breaths. Breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Remind yourself, I have called for help. Help is on the way. My only job is to rest and breathe. Controlling your fear is an active part of helping your heart. Number 4. Critical mistakes. What not to do. Knowing what to do is important, but knowing what not to do is just as vital. Don't delay. The biggest mistake people make is waiting to see if they feel better. The American Heart Association states that many heart attacks start slowly with mild pain or discomfort, and waiting can be fatal. Time is muscle. The longer you wait, the more damage is done. Don't drive yourself. Do not get behind the wheel. The risk of passing out and causing a crash is too high. Don't use cough CPR. This is a dangerous internet myth. The American Heart Association does not endorse cough CPR and warns that it is not a recognized medical procedure for a conscious person having a heart attack. It could be harmful, and there's no evidence it works in this situation. Focus on calm breathing instead. Don't eat or drink anything. Other than chewing an aspirin, a small sip of water is okay. Don't have any food or drinks. It can complicate treatments you might need at the hospital. Don't exert yourself. Don't pack a bag. Don't walk around. Your only job is to get to a safe spot and rest until help arrives. Number 5. The power of preparation. Surviving a heart attack when you're alone starts long before symptoms ever appear. A little preparation can make all the difference. First, keep your phone charged and nearby, especially at your bedside. If you're at high risk, consider a medical alert device. Second, make an emergency info sheet. List your name, address, medications, allergies, and contacts for your doctor and a family member. Post it on your fridge or by the door where paramedics can easily see it. Finally, talk to your doctor. The American Heart Association encourages understanding your personal risk factors and making a clear action plan together. Knowing your risks and having a plan turns fear into confidence. Actually, the idea of having a heart attack alone is terrifying. It plays on our deepest fears of being helpless. But today, you've armed yourself with knowledge, which is the best defense against fear. Let's recap the 3 most important life-saving steps one more time. First, call 911, no hesitation. Second, if it's right for you, chew aspirin. And third, rest. Stop everything and stay as calm as you can until help arrives. Call, chew, rest. By learning these steps, you've turned potential panic into a clear plan. You've taken back control. You have proven that even when you are alone, you are not powerless. You've given yourself the best possible chance to survive. If this video gave you knowledge that could save a life, please hit the like button. It helps get this information to more people who need it. Share this video with your loved ones, your parents, friends, and anyone you know who lives alone. It's a tough conversation, but it's one of the most important you can have.
And with that, we wrap up today's video. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. For more queries, I have also added some studies at the end of this video description. Please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon for the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and share. Stay healthy, stay fine.